In this video, I'm going to cover with you what successful construction businesses do to know their numbers. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud Podcast. Yes, I have a podcast. There's probably at this point almost 250 episodes of that podcast. People still tell me, Mike, I didn't know you have a podcast, but Mike, I love your YouTube channel. I call bullshit because I literally tell in every single episode of my YouTube about my episodes of my podcast. Big Stud Podcast, check it out. Go watch it, go enjoy it. There's some YouTube videos on the channel now of some of those interviews if you prefer to watch them than audio. But if you're not into podcasts, I highly suggest it's a great way to collect information for you to implement and make changes so you can win fast and win often. But in this video specifically, I want to talk about what successful construction companies do when it comes to understanding their numbers. First, this is number one, this is most important. You need a way to track the data. All right, so there's whether it's a CRM, QuickBooks, on a spreadsheet even. Look, I want you to be more modern. I want you to use technology. But whether you have a bookkeeper, a CPA, a fractional CFO, a controller, it doesn't matter. If you do not have a way to properly and consistently track the data, the numbers, the dollars, the inputs, the outputs, the expenses, the proposals, the sales, the revenue. If you don't have a way to track the information, you're never going to know your numbers because the numbers you have will be inaccurate. So get QuickBooks, get a CRM, and make yourself and your team utilize those things. It's amazing. I run into so many businesses at all levels, millions of dollars a year that don't have an accurate CRM. Sometimes the CRM is not the problem. Sometimes it's getting their people to use it correctly and actually put the information in. So, tracking information like, appointments ran, sales, just general contracts sold, revenue generated, revenue collected, expenses by job. So don't just track expenses for the whole company, but track expenses by job, receipts. Those little trips to Home Depot and Lowe's will screw your bottom line and just bleed you out because you're not have a good way to track that. And then man hours. Tracking man hours specifically. So knowing your numbers. So CRM, knowing your numbers starts there. If you don't have an accurate way to track those things, there's no way to diagnose and analyze those things. Second, highly, if not, you need to do this. This is not a suggestion. Have a bookkeeper. Stop having your wife, your mom, your friend, your babysitter try to track your books for you. Hire a bookkeeper. I highly suggest, and I've gone this route personally, finding a fractional CFO that does bookkeeping skills because they'll have the ability to track it, understand tax implications, and help you with projections. I had a bookkeeper for a while. She was awesome, but what got me here is not going to get me there. And as WinRate has grown to a multi-million-dollar coaching company with a half dozen coaches, support staff members, hundreds of clients, we're over, and I'll say hundreds. We have over 100 clients now. I want to be fair. I don't want people to call me on my bullshit. It's over 100 clients. It's not hundreds of clients. But it becomes more complex. There's more I'm doing in investing in the business and events and sponsorships and everything else. So having a bookkeeper that has CFO style services, very important because they're going to do more than just track your books. A bookkeeper, in my opinion, is a very reactionary role. They're taking whatever you've done and they're doing their best way to track it. When you blend bookkeeping with fractional CFO type services, you get more tax strategy, you get more projection planning, you get more management of the money proactively, future, not just reactively what has happened. What you should expect to spend on a fractional CFO that does bookkeeping is, I would think, $2 to $3 grand a month is a very fair number. Bookkeepers are going to be $500 to $1,000 on average, say $500 to $1,500. Then when you add in the fractional CFO services, expect $2 to $3 grand monthly. But I'll tell you, in my experience so far, and having somebody who's helping me not just know my numbers, but understand them. Even just understanding how to pay yourself. Most people say, I'll take a distribution this month, or I'll pay for my truck that month, or maybe I'll raise my salary this month, and 2 months later you're dropping it, you're not even paying yourself because the numbers are not where you actually thought they were going to be. So that bookkeeping plus fractional CFO services allows you to understand your numbers to make decisions about tax strategy and how to pay yourself and when to pay yourself and how to pay the team and when to hire, when not to hire, when to buy the truck, when not to buy the truck. So beyond just a bookkeeper, a fractional CFO, you can't have mine. Just kidding. Just shoot me a message. I can connect you with her. She's growing a team as well to help produce more assets so that she can help more people. And then third, and I say this in a lot of videos, I think it's very important to include your top employees in the financial analysis of the company. Like, do you need to show them all the expenses? Do you need to show them what everybody's making? No, but they should have an understanding of project costs, overhead costs, what your run rate is, like if understanding your daily overhead run rate, basically what does it cost you every day to just be open, right? Salaries, insurance, rents, that kind of stuff. So they understand what needs to be made and produced so that people can make money. Because it's very common for employees to think, oh man, I just collected a $100,000 check. That fucking owner's eating good tonight. And they're like, they don't realize that like you're actually have 120 grand in accounts payable and that 100 grand doesn't even cover it. And you're shitting bricks over here about how you're going to make payroll next week. And so I think including employees and understanding overhead run rates, job costing, profitability percentages, so maybe not the whole financial picture and what you're planning on doing, but an understanding of what it takes to be successful. And then ultimately, don't be selfish as fuck. Like allow them to win as the company wins. If you're going to share your numbers with them, you have a really great quarter, those key employees, not all the employees, but key employees that are part of the solution, part of what you can do in order to give people the life they want. Ultimately, if your employees aren't winning or feeling like they're winning, you're never going to win long term. You might have a good year or a good quarter, but you're going to fail because good employees aren't going to be around. But including them in the conversation of understanding of how do their decisions on job sites and in the workplace affect the ability for the company to be profitable and successful. So having ways to track data, CRMs, QuickBooks, things like that, forcing your team to train and learn how to do that effectively, implementing a bookkeeper with fractional CFO services. Again, I'd say $2 to $3 grand, but that person is going to help you understand the numbers so you can make better decisions going forward. And then including key employees and understanding what does it look like for the financial acumen of this business. I think a lot of business owners hide the numbers or are afraid to share them, which does not allow your employees to make educated decisions. Ultimately, doing these things will help you run a more profitable business long term, will help you manage yourself through recessions and potential challenges coming up. But ultimately allow you to feel, and you can go to sleep at night knowing you have a good handle on the financial side of your business so that payroll will happen and taxes will get paid and you can continue to operate as opposed to riding the roller coaster of a business bank account. Not fun, not enjoyable. I know you know what I'm talking about if you've been there. So this will allow you to avoid those things. So any questions on that? Look, I'll be honest, I'm not the financial guru on my team. That's why I outsource some of those services, but I do have some coaches on the squad now that are incredibly financially gifted when it comes to understanding a construction business, back-end financial management. So that's something you're struggling with, man. Reach out, shoot me a DM, go to winrateconsulting.com, ask for a free consultation. Let's get you connected with one of these guys who can get into your business with you and coach you to success. You don't have to feel alone anymore in that process. Look, I don't sell a lot. I don't push my products and services a lot, but I truly believe we are the best one-on-one business coaching team for contractors in the world. If you're watching this right now and you disagree, I'd love to have a conversation with you. But ultimately, we believe that, and we have a lot of team. We take a collaborative approach to make sure our clients can win fast and win often. So don't wait. Reach out. Look at the sign. It's new. It's a new sign. It's awesome. But I want to help you. So reach out. Let's connect and implement the things you saw in this video so you can feel better about how you're going.